Now, please welcome to the UNLV Creates stage, Dr. Ramona Denby-Brinson.
Thank you. Good morning. Question: who is the UNLV freshman class? The UNLV freshman class is a group of budding scholars who recognize and fully embrace that this is their time to be young, their turn to change the world, and that they possess the talent to transform society. You see, I have a particular affinity for the freshman class. Like you, my oldest son is a recent graduate and is now embarking upon his journey. Eagerly awaiting him in the wings is my goddaughter, a senior at a local high school. When I think about the freshman class, I think about the future. As depicted in this image, I think about our future educators, future scientists, future entrepreneurs. And when I look at this audience, most importantly, I see our future thought leaders. You see, freshman class, you are the ones we've been waiting for. You will transform society. This is your turn, this is your time, this is your opportunity. Today and in the weeks to come, you will hear from many people. They will say to you that this is your opportunity. You will receive advice, good advice, great advice, in fact, sage advice. Your parents, your professors, your teachers, some of your trusted guides and mentors will remind you that you are to let no one and nothing usurp your opportunity to grasp what's before you. Great advice. I couldn't agree more. But please allow me to add just 3 additional points of consideration. You see, this is your time, it's your turn, and you possess the talent. Time to be young, a time for new adventures, new experiences. The most precious gift you have before you now is the gift of youth. But what does it mean to be young in today's society? These are some of the thoughts that may come to mind for you when you think about youth. What it means to be young is to be free, energetic, unencumbered. These are the things that I think about when I think about youth. When I consider my own children and the diverse nature of their inner circle, I'm optimistic about our future. And then I look at this audience, I see a mosaic of ethnicities, religions, backgrounds, expressions. My optimism swells. You see, this is your time to be young. My research affords me the opportunity to study youth between the ages of 12 and 26. As a social work researcher, I study some of the most vulnerable populations in our society. Most of my research is centered around children who have grown up in the U.S. foster care system. I study children who are challenged on a daily basis because they suffer from profound mental health disorders. Recently, in working with a group of my youth, I posed the same question that I put before you this morning. I said to them, what does it mean to be young? Amazingly, and almost to the word, their responses were the exact opposite of what most would think. You see, when I asked my youth, what does it mean to be young? They define youth as being lonely, doubtful, insufficient, fearful, and feared. Feared? How can that be? How can a group of youth in the prime of their life define their future in such a dark and bleak manner? I suspect that for some in this audience, these sentiments might resonate for you as well. There might be a few of you that are even questioning the why. And if we were perfectly honest with one another, some of you might say, well, you know, I have to admit, that's just not my concern. Let someone else bother with that problem. But I'm encouraged to know, because I believe that an overwhelming number of you look at these definitions of youth and you say to yourself, something must be done. What can be done? Something must be done to transform conditions that would allow youth to define their outlook in such a despairing manner. And here's where you come in. You see, freshman class, you are a gifted and special few. You are the ones that we have been awaiting. This is your time to make a change. Making that change will require you to position yourself, to be that agent of change. I say this to you as a person who has spent her entire adult life in search of one question. One question has been my driving motivation. That question, Kazarine Ingera. Kazarine Ingera. Translated, how are the children? This is a traditional greeting used by the Maasai tribe of Kenya. You see, the Maasai believe that the state and welfare of the children pretty much dictates the conditions of others. Upon their encountering one another, the Maasai say, Kazarine Ingera. You see, they hold firmly the belief that if the children are not well, then there is no possibility that the community, the nation, and indeed society can be well. UNLV freshman class, what's your challenge question? I encourage you to decide over the course of the next 4 years what that challenge question is for you. You're uniquely positioned here during your time at UNLV. What you will find is multiple laboratories before you that will allow you to investigate and explore. No matter your major, no matter your interest, there is a natural community extension that will allow you to make your impact, plant your seal. Think about the conditions that disturb you. What would you change if you could? It's your responsibility. In fact, let me share with you the words of George Washington Carver, because I believe he stated it best. You see, renowned scientist George Washington Carver says, how far we go in life depends on our ability to be tender to the young, compassionate to the aged, sympathetic to the striving, and tolerant of the weak and the strong. You see, because at some point, we too will have been all of these things. Decide at this moment. In fact, let's commit. In 4 years, we will meet on this stage again. It will be your day of graduation. I would say to you, thinking about your journey here today, you've completed high school, you're successful, many of you are leaders in your own right. What got you here today? You might think, well, it's been hard work, sacrifice, perseverance, the love, support, and guidance of many. Easy question, right? Well, let's try another. In the year 2020, when we meet again, and that same question is presented, what got you here today? Please prepare yourself to respond in this manner. What got me here today was hard work, sacrifice, perseverance, the love, support, and guidance of many, and an unwavering commitment to change the world. UNLV freshman class, as I have looked over my career and advanced through various stages, I remain in search of my challenge question. You see, it is my hope and desire, and I believe I will reach it at one point, to answer my challenge question, Kazarine Ingera, in the affirmative. I hope to one day answer the question, how are the children? All of the children are well. What's your drumbeat? What will be that beacon for you? You have many talents. Contribute. Become involved on campus, in the community. After all, we need you. Like me, I'm sure many of you have watched the events of late across our country, across the world. You've been horrified with some of the rhetoric we hear, the incidents. The good news, though, that you will be the answer. You see, you will calm the storm. What will be your role in bridging the divide? How will you settle the unrest? UNLV freshman class, recall 4 questions. What will you seek to answer during your educational journey? What problems will be resolved during your time? What are the discoveries and inventions on your horizon? What ills will you correct? Again, let's commit to meet here in 4 years. On that day, it will be our time to celebrate your accomplishments. You've deserved them. I can't wait to see what your youth brings. I can't wait to see what you accomplish when it's your turn. UNLV freshman class, it's your time. It's your turn. How will you use your talents? Welcome to UNLV.
Thank you, Dr. Denby-Brinson.